Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Guido Perino, here on the Path Radio Spotlight, wishing you a happy new year in 2024. I am welcoming back to the Path Radio Spotlight to kick off the new year, rocker Dale George Lytle of the band Angeles, a special 40th anniversary appearance as we celebrate 1984's We're No Angels, and showing no signs of slowing down as Dale and crew pump out new tunes like Evil and Good. Plus, more touring and other new goodies as they continue to bless the top 40 charts. Welcome back to the show, Dale. Again, thank you for being here and helping us kick off the new year. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Happy New Year to you and everyone. And I'm doing just great. Thank you so much.
Right on,
Yeah.
Dale. You're looking good.
Thanks, brother. You too.
Are you are
Thanks
you
for
sporting one of your are you sporting one of your new hats?
Yeah, it's the one that my brother gave me two of the hats that he had gotten, and now Connie's making them, and she's making some hats too. So yeah, that's the ones we wear on stage. And I kind of stopped wearing it for the last few shows, but Bill still wears them. But yeah, I like them. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, those hats are hot. Those hats are really hot. And I've seen them on your social media, and talking about your social media, you're really engaged with your fans. You typically give your followers a daily good morning greeting. What motivates you to do that?
I just think it's a good way to start off the day. And it's like letting them know that I'm there and I'm with them and good morning and it just seems like the right thing to do. There's nothing more to it than that, but it's been growing and people just seem to like it when you let them know good morning. And so that's all there is to it. It's just
I,
a
I
simple.
I've noticed, you say good morning, and people leave you pictures, people say something back to you. It's sometimes it's one of the first things I see in the morning. It's like, oh, that's really nice. As opposed to like something bad news or somebody complaining. They're just somebody saying, hey man, good morning. I hope, in a nice way, have a good day, sort of thing. And that seems to be Dale George Lytle right now, eh?
Yeah, my dad, after I actually met him after many, many years, I knew him for about 5 years. And uh he used to it didn't matter what time of day. He lived in Seattle, Washington when I finally found him after 40 years. Um he would it didn't matter if it was 5 in the afternoon, he would say good morning. I don't know why he said that was just the right way to start off a conversation to everybody. Might be a little weird, I'm not sure, but that's what he used to do.
That's
So
and you picked up on that, and you've been using
yeah,
that after, and just having spent that short time with your dad, it sounds like.
yeah, it was really cool. I actually had a private investigator find him after like 46 years, and it was really weird. I I had a shop in Canoga Park, California, and I was at the desk. It was a Saturday morning, and it was slow. And I had this private investigator get me a list. It was 3 pages long, and I sat down. It was 8 o'clock. The first Dale George uh, Frank Lytle on the page. I called, and he answered the phone. And he said, "Good morning, son." And I'm like, "What?" And I made him prove it. Like, what was my last name at the time, which was Bandy.
Yeah.
And I had to ask him other questions, and he answered them all. And I had a sister, I had a half brother. I, got, he flew down to LA, and we flew back up. Uh, I'd go up there quite a bit and spend a week or two. And my sister Treva, we're still friends on Facebook. And it was just really pretty cool. And then when he turned 65, he had a brain aneurysm and died. So
Yeah.
I got at least I got to, he left when I was 6. I left it to Bill Bandy, which was my father at the time, my brother Derek, half brother, his real father. And so there was that whole time period. And at least I had the chance to know him for a few years.
Yeah, I mean, what a great story that you were able to find him, spend some time with him.
Yeah.
Uh, got to know the rest of your family and whatnot. And that's pretty wild. Like just the whole PI thing and being able to do that. How so you said he answered with hello son. How did he know?
He just said he knew. I don't know. My dad was well in tune. He was an old hippie. And he was just really, and he had a vegan restaurant, and he was just very in tune, and he knew. He
Wow.
just right away. There was
You know
no
what?
question.
What a perfect story of hope as we
Yeah,
start out the new year for other people listening and other things going on out there for them.
yeah,
Look, talking about where you've been and where you are, and I know we're gonna get to music. If folks listening in going, are they gonna get to music? We're gonna get to music. We're gonna get to a lot of music. But I gotta ask about something else that you've posted recently, and it was about NFL football. And you
yeah.
said this, if I quote it correctly, I have a problem. I grew up loving the Rams my whole lifetime. Now I live in Northeast Ohio and I do love the Browns. Well, they're playing each other today. And what the hell am I going to do? So tell us, who did you cheer for? And were you going to be happy either way, even though I think the Rams beat down the Browns 36-19 that week?
I had so many mixed emotions. I was being pulled by both directions. Um, I, I mean, I want to say, it was either team, but it's like I felt sorry for the Browns. I felt bad for them. But I was just felt like I was in a tug of war. It was like one of those things. And I wanted the Browns to win, and they won last week with Flacco and Joe Flacco, and then I'm pretty sure he's starting today. I think he's the quarterback for the rest of the year, and I think he's really good. I think that's what. Well, I know that they needed a good quarterback, and they finally got one. And even if he's just there for a year, the rest of this year, maybe next year, he's really good. And they won last week, and I think they're going to win today. I'm crossing my fingers for them. And
It sounds like you're all in on the Browns, Dale. It sounds like you're all in.
I live here. I live 60 miles from Cleveland, and everybody, all my friends that I've gotten here, Chris Fragel and just all the musicians I know here, uh, Tina Preddy and just all of them. And Bill Brown and just all these friends that I've accumulated since I've lived here, which is pretty amazing. Short amount of time. Mel Baker. I mean, my gosh, all these people, and they truly really love the Browns a lot, and there's no bullshit about it. And it's just good to have something to share with them and have something in common. So
Right on. Right on. Part of the fabric of America is the Sunday football and it's fun to see the posts online and things like that. Look,
yeah.
let's leave the gridiron. Let's leave the gridiron and let's move to
Playing
the rock
Chicago,
stage. What's that?
we're playing Chicago Bears today.
Yeah, the Bears. The
Yeah,
Bears.
yeah. And John Coons of Crooked Call, he's into them real big time. He loves Chicago and so yeah. All right, let's get on the music.
Music. Let's get on to music. All right, the rock stage. Look, I thought I saw a post from you earlier this year, much earlier this year, that you had a leg injury, but then you were still up on stage doing your thing and rocking out with the crowd. Are you all healed up?
No,
All right.
no, it's like goes in and out. So I'm gonna go and get it checked, and maybe I could have orthopedic surgery. And I'm hoping I don't need a complete knee replacement,
Oh
but
man.
I'm good with sitting down as well. I actually prefer sitting down and singing and playing because honestly, I could play better leads and I feel like I could sing better sitting down and I could still talk to the audience. I still bring the energy. I still can rock. And, at first, the first show was in a wheelchair. And then I went to just a chair. And then now I'm in a chair. And, it's Peter Frampton does it. Lady Gaga does it. I mean, it goes on. Dave Grohl, I think, did it at one
He
point.
did. Yeah.
And there's been a lot of people And if you got to just stand there and sing anyways, there's not much I could do except walk around during a solo. And I just turn the chair around and play to my bass player and play to Danny. And, I feel that I maybe bring more energy because I'm, at all rehearsals, I don't stand. I've always sat. So it's really my comfort zone, if you will. So it might be a hidden plus, a hidden additive. Would I rather stand if I could? Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad did, and he did great, and everybody in Cream and Jimi Hendrix and everybody. But if I could, I don't know. It's like I probably wouldn't sit down if I had my legs. And
Right.
it's one bad knee, I'd probably stand. But honestly, and this is the truth, is I feel that I could sing and I can play my leads better because it's right here in my package, lying down, and I could belt it out more. And it just my delivery of a musician and a singer is I think better. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, if it has to be that Lita Ford, I think I would probably at this point rather go with that. We have a couple shows
Oh,
coming, and
yeah, and we're gonna talk about that in a second, Dale. So you were talking about sitting. I was gonna ask you, hey, from a seated position, is it any different, or how does it feel? And you mentioned Dave Grohl. I think Axl Rose did it too when he
yeah,
broke his leg or
ankle.
something. I think he might have borrowed Dave Grohl's chair or something because they had some sort of special chair at some point. And then you had me thinking back in the day, God rest his soul, Jeff Healey. Jeff Healey used to do it, like he used to sit and play guitar, but different circumstances. But I'm glad to hear that you're getting your leg looked after, and it sounds like we're not going to miss anything in terms of what you're bringing. In fact, you're going to say you're even going to get a better Dale George Lytle on stage, and you're still engaged with the crowd, and so it's still something cool to see. Now, look at Dale. As I say this, fans of Angela's, new and old, are in for a treat this year. It's an incredible feat. This is your 40th anniversary of the 1984 We're No Angels album. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's an honor to still be alive. It means I'm getting up there in age, and like all of us, but to be able to look back at our 40th year, it's really a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, and I haven't stopped or slowed down, and I'm on my 17th record that's going to be coming out shortly. And it's just it's it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Yeah, and I'm still alive. Up until now. I mean, life is funny. It throws you curves.
You
But
see,
yeah, it's awesome.
you keep hitting those curveballs though. You keep hitting them, Dale. Look, what do you remember most about recording that album? Or what are some of the favorite things around the recording of that album in 1984?
The one thing that stands out most is aside from making cassette copies of it, 10 at a time in a little room that you had to go into. And Yngwie Malmsteen came in, and we were playing Keeper of the Gate, and that's the last song on side one. And he's like, I got this pretty cool riff. It's a gothic song with a really melodic, like really cool riff at the beginning. And he's like, comes in, sit down with me, and he's like, wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. And then Dio was also there, Ronnie James Dio, and he loved Blade of Steel, and that was his favorite song. And he would come in and listen to that one. So that's it. He would drive me home because I was living in Porter Ranch at Northridge, and he would drive me home after we were done. And another thing that I thought about this is Blade of Steel. When we were recording the solo, there was a glass sliding door that they had, and they wanted to put my amplifier inside, but instead of doing that, I put my Marshall turned on 10 right a foot away from the glass door. which gave that scream, that howl, that wickedness. So if you can imagine the reverb of a Marshall and having a microphone right in between that and the glass door, turned up to 10, a thick sliding glass door. And that's what gave it that real wild, wicked sound in Blade of Steel for the lead solo. And I remember that so well.
That's awesome. Insights onto Blades of Steel. And then look at, you started naming some names there. And I was thinking this, Dale, some of the other names associated with that album: bass and backing vocals, Tom Leslie; drums, John Merritt; engineer, Anthony
Right.
Sorrentino; Arthur Dyer; Brian McLaughlin; Gary Dulac; Shannon O'Neill; Tom Leslie. You got an executive producer, Carl Lewis; lead vocals, Dave Rodman; mastered by Richard Simpson; mixed by Rob Klein; recorded by Paul Stillman; artwork, Carl Lewis and Jim Evans. There's like there's a lot of talent associated with that album. It was recorded at Harlequin Studios, mixed at Westlake Studio. Like, you threw names, but when I throw those names at you, what do you think when you look back at everyone that was involved in the making of?
Well, Tom Leslie and John Merritt and Gary Dulac, I believe, all have passed. I know Gary. I
Yeah,
think Gary has passed. Tom Leslie passed about over 20 years ago. John Merritt passed about 5, 6 years ago. He was our drummer. He was on quite a few of our records.
yeah,
Did a lot of them. About no longer than that, because Danny's been the drummer. I called him back from Texas, and about 9 years ago. So it's been John's been gone for about 9 years.
yeah.
And but yeah, Tom Leslie was just a phenomenal bass player. He's the one that I got it on YouTube of us playing on Dale Lytle channel. It's like something I don't really use a lot. It shows us playing Blade of Steel again, and Tom's in that video. And it's he wasn't a looker. He didn't have really the looks, but he was a really phenomenal bass guitar player. And him and Danny, our drummer now that lives here, lived with us since Texas 9 years ago. They played together in a band called Phase years ago. And we all like rehearsed in these behind Vaughn's in a strip mall. And there was Blaze, Angeles, and Phase. And you talk about parties. I mean, every single night was rehearsal. Every single night, the whole back parking lot was just full of cars and beer bottles and whiskey bottles. And it was a party every night. It was wild. And that was in Sylmar, California. And Vaughn's is still there. Strip mall, I think, is probably still there. Back. It was in the back, and it was really cool. And that's where I first met Tom Leslie. And yeah,
So
yeah,
it's safe to say when I say those names, there's a lot of fond memories,
oh yeah,
a lot of things to celebrate and people to celebrate, and fortunate to have known such a vast pool of talented, knowledgeable music folks.
I got to mention this too. Carl Lewis has since passed away. He,
Yeah.
I think he had moved to Missouri, and he's been gone for about 10 years.
Wow.
Now, I believe he committed suicide. I don't know what his thing was, but
Yeah.
and Jim Evans did the album cover. But Paul DeBasio, a drummer for Danger Danger, or Ted Poley, actually Ted Poley, and Paul DeBasio, actually, I think it was him that came up with the logo out of the Times. Then he made the big A behind us, and then he had the axe and the ball, and it just evolved from there. And then we gave it to a guy named Jim Evans, which I later found out that he's done, I think, album covers for the Beach Boys, the Eagles. I mean, the name goes on and on. There's a lot of people. He was really great, and he had a studio. I believe it was in Malibu. But yeah, you can Google Jim Evans. He did a lot of amazing album covers throughout the years.
Right
And then
on.
Gary Dulac was I produced the record too. It was me and Carl that produced it. He was executive producer. He wrote some of the lyrics on it as well for a few of the songs, kind of half and half with Dave Rodman on about 4 songs. I think Keeper, We're No Angels, You Want Me to Love You, which I might redo on the 40th on my next record.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about doing You Want Me to Love You. I'm gonna do it for the
This is breaking news. You're gonna do it?
breaking news. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I mean, I keep saying it, and it's just a really good commercial driving song, and it's called "You Want Me to Love You." Yeah, you want me to love you like an honest man. You want me to love you. I don't know. I don't know if I can. Yeah, yeah, got to do it. That's just
Love it.
one.
New Year's Day exclusive. We're gonna get a remix, a redo of the song "You Want Me to Love You."
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Dale, like I said, fond memories, and just going over the names and the people that are with us and the people that aren't. They're all part of that journey. And look at you, we're making announcements and you're talking about the journey. Are we going to see any special re-release of the album? Are you doing anything with vinyl or any extra add-ons of any kind with it or anything of that sort? Or are we just leaving it?
We were going to with Jeffrey, and then he got hurt from Dark Star,
Right.
and he's still not even close to being ready to do anything. I think he's got a long recovery if he ever does recover. We were going to do a re-release, but without him being the record company, I don't really at this time see anything like that happening. I mean, I've been discussing it with my wife, but we're so wrapped up with the I got to do one more song Wednesday. I'm going to do the vocals to a song called "Good Times." It's not going to be on any platforms. It's not going to be on anything except the CD. That will then come out. And You Want Me to Love You. That's probably going to be put on. But there will be one song, the next one, Good Times, that won't be on any digital downloads.
So, not a re-release of the album, and we understand the circumstances on that. But to complement the anniversary, you are heading out on the road. And we're going to talk a little bit about the album in a second. You've got a few dates already booked. In those dates that are booked right now that you've released, there's also a few special, we'll say, events or notable events outside of your 40th anniversary. You're embracing Hollywood as you saunter into the Whiskey A Go Go. How did that come to be, and what are you most looking forward to about that?
Well, I was like kind of wanting to find something special to end the year with. And that is like September 19th. My birthday's the 23rd. So it'll be a combo birthday into the, tour type thing. If we got dates after that, they come in. But that's kind of like, I want to do all these other shows and then go back to Hollywood where we came from. And well, I don't honestly know. I hope I have a few more years to go. I'm 66 years old now, and I hope I can go until I'm 70, 72. I don't know. Nobody knows, but I spoke with Jake and we set up a date, and I contacted Betsy to co-headline with us, and she accepted. And Betsy from Bitch, the man Bitch,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be a very exciting time. We're going to be bringing a couple special guests, Gwendolyn Casella from the Fired Up record, and we're going to do probably Fired Up one more song, and then I'm going to bring in Claire Diane from the Wild Ride, Crazy, and Killers of the Game CD. So we're going to be doing probably, I'm not going to give everything away, but we're going to be
Oh, no.
doing some better rock songs. So I'm going to have them both come in, and maybe we're waiting to hear from Lewis. I don't want to have too much. If Lewis comes in, I might cut them down to one song because I have a lot now to sing. I mean, I
Yeah.
want 45 minutes of me, of my new stuff. So I don't want to just give it all to them. But I'm trying. We've already spoken with Lewis Collins about coming in on the Hell and High Hills record and maybe doing one song. So he was going to move to Tennessee, and if he doesn't, he said he'd be glad to do it. But he's got to see what he's doing. He's pretty much he's been touring a lot, a touring bass player, and yeah,
That's right on. So we got a lot of surprises. You got a lot of content happening at that show, and it sounds like the special moment is that you're going back to essentially where it began
Yeah.
to sort of end things off for the year, and we'll see where things go after that. Now, you talked a little bit about things leading up to that. You've got early in 2024, you're kicking things off hot with it sounds like you're going to the ranch in Fort Myers, Florida, West Palm Beach. You're going to be sharing the stage with fellow iconic rocker Lita Ford. Now,
Yeah.
how excited are you about that event, and what does it mean to be rocking with Lita Ford, and as you deliver your anniversary tour?
I've never played with Lita before, but a good friend of mine, Chris Holmes, was married to her from Wasp. Um, and so I'd never met, Lita. I don't think we've ever played with her to my knowledge. I know we all came from the same era at the same time. So I don't know if she knows of us or remembers or not, or if she's ever seen us. I'm not really sure. She could have very well. So I'm really looking forward to it. Fort Myers is Friday, and then at the ranch, like you said, and then Saturday is at the Banyan Live in West Palm Beach, Florida, and tickets are on sale now, and those should be really exciting shows. I'm
Two
really looking.
two shows back to back with Lita Ford,
Yeah,
Friday and Saturday, and what a way to make that part of
kick
the
off.
40th anniversary tour, Dale. That sounds like a good show. We'll put the links in if folks. I think you have links to where they can pick up the tickets, so we'll put those links in the show notes for folks.
Great.
Um, Dale, as we continue to talk about this 40th anniversary, it's incredible, and bless you for all the things that you're working on. I understand there's also rumors, if you can substantiate for us, of a documentary. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
And can you tell us what the documentary is about? Details, who's working on it, where is it being recorded? What are we expecting to see?
Working on it. We're doing it like we do our videos,
Yeah.
and then she's gonna be. We've got quite a few guests. Doug Ellison, that was in Snow, which was with had Tony and Carlos Colazo. He's in there. Tarja, just from Italy, just sent us her little segment. Betsy and Bitch just sent her. We got her segment. We're waiting for a few others to come in. Um, so yeah, it's going to be really exciting. It talks a lot about just everything we're talking about, basically, from back then to now, and they have different eras, so different people came in at different times
Yeah.
of my musical life career, however you want to say it, and so it's pretty exciting. We've got Ron Bushy when he's holding a fired up CD before he passed away. His drums are now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The guy that Iron Butterfly and the guy to Davita, and it was really. I was living at a studio because in the early days I didn't have a place to live. My mom was murdered. I had no dad. I had my guitar. I had the band, and I lived wherever we rehearsed. That was it. Girls brought me my clothes. They brought me my food, and I was lucky enough to live at Bushwhack Studios that Ron Bushy had with Doug Ingle that wrote In the Guy to Davita, and we shared a lot. And I'd practice until about 3 a.m, and then Nancy, we become friends on Facebook, his wife, and she reminded me that I went to a yard. I knew I went to their yard sale and helped them with that, and she, I forgot that I'd spent the night there, and just thinking back, that's just like a pinch me type moment. I actually spent the night at Ron Bushy from Iron Butterflies in the Guy to Vida and played with them in front of 6,000 people at Devonshire Dales Outdoor Stadium, which Jimi Hendrix played. We played there several times. Factory of Nightmare. We played there with Pat Boone, believe it or not, which was really odd. And then, it's just that so many crazy things that I forget about, and Nancy, confirmed that, I spent the night and we were helped out, put everything out for the yard sale. And brought everything back in, and she's really cool and just great. Ron was a really great guy, and so when I'm talking about this stuff, Connie's got like the picture of me and Ron Bushy holding our Fired Up album, behind us. So she's getting all that together. She's working on getting the music, and then
Right on.
she's got it all done. It's over an hour long, and so she's just now. We had to get the video because I've been kicking out so many songs. Every time I turn around, she's got another song to do a lyric video to, or a video, which Insanity, Crimes of Insanity. I think she did a
Yeah.
hell of that one. That's just
Yeah.
badass.
It is. It is. Yeah. Over on angelasband.com, it's posted there, and it is
Yeah.
a pretty badass video. So encourage folks to check
Go to
that out.
Angela's Band YouTube, our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
We'll put a subscribe, folks. Subscribe. Yeah, it is really good. And you guys have been pumping out videos there. Dale, the documentary sounds really cool. So many
Oh,
insider stories there that you're gonna share with folks. Do we have a date, or is there a date that you're planning to release it around, or?
we're looking for. She wants to wait until kind of after the holidays.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on getting the new album together. So I would say no later than end of January.
Oh,
Maybe.
soon. It's close, like in the next couple of months.
Oh yeah.
Right on. And shout out to Connie, who's doing all that work, and she does some amazing work. So Connie probably has fans in the background, Dale. I hope that that's okay with you. So
Oh, she's got a lot of fans. She was just called Mrs. Angeles.
Hey, look, man, we've been tap dancing around the new album and the new stuff. We've been talking a lot about the 1984 album, but your upcoming tour to celebrate it, the documentary. But I also said in the intro, you've been making new charting music, and if we go to angelasband.com, and I keep looking over there because I've got this other monitor with your beautiful pictures and sites on there that I keep looking at. You've also got a new song called "Evil and Good." What's the backstory for putting that song together, Dale?
Well, I had the music, and I was sitting there, and it has quite a bit of parts to it. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do with this? I didn't want to make it a love song. Didn't want to, it's just like, what am I going to do? I mean, I kept canceling the dates at the studio because I wanted it to be good. I loved the context of the music and the construction. So finally, I got something, and it was Good and Evil. And then so I'm doing that, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? That's just too common. So I just switched it around, Evil and Good, and just started running with that. And then I wanted to put like I guess it's the chorus. I mean, Evil and Good. It's like the hook chorus too.
Yeah.
But then you got the chorus where listen to the music playing in our heads. That part. That's kind of the chorus that everybody can sing along with, or I mean, they could really Evil and Good too. So it kind of lightens it up, and have a drink with me. So it's about madness all around. Fantasies to explore as the tiger roars. And something evil, something wild, something crazy. Something you don't understand. There's no answer. Madness all around. Sometimes you want to sin. Madness all around.
Yeah.
So it's just it's about the battles between as the battle cries, and evil and good will rise, and that's kind of what's happening in the world. Because I was gonna make it about it started off as holy like
Holy War.
thank you, holy
Yeah.
war, and what's going on in the country and the world. And I don't want to really get too political. I try and stay away from that. I got my views, and everyone's got their views. So that's what started it. And then I'm thinking, nah, I can't do that. I can't write a song about holy wars. It just might get too much crap. And that's when that's what it started off. And I changed it over to Good and Evil, and then I switched that to Evil and Good.
Good.
It was just too common, And I mean,
Yeah. I
That's
think
it.
you got some good timing on it, Dale, in terms, and you said it, like, that came to mind when I was looking at it, and you said it, where we are in the world today. And I think you might have captured that. And
Oh,
as you switch those words around, and it's something that actually caught my attention at first, because when you first sent it out and I was looking at it, my first the first couple of times that I was looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, good and evil. And then I was like, no, 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 evil and good. And then
yeah,
you made us think about it, right? You made us do something that we don't typically do when when we talk about those two things.
correct.
And so it'll be interesting to see. And so that's going to go on the new album, right? That's correct.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it'll have all the. It'll have band plays on my way. I'm gonna spruce up "Running Like an Outlaw," um, and then the six completely new tracks.
Dale, are we going to see I should be asking Connie this maybe. Are we going to see a video for the new song or for Evil and Good?
There is a lyric video,
Okay.
and I didn't want her to go down that road because she did such a good job, and it takes her a lot of time, and it's a lot of work, and her eye is going bad. She's got a bad
Yeah.
eye, and she's been doing so God knows how many videos she's done. And I just kind of lightened it up and said, just put a few things in there, put the lyric video, which I think she did a real good job with. And she can't really Insanity video is just badass.
It
And
is.
then she's got Nothing But Love, which is another really great one she's
Yeah.
done. I mean,
Yeah.
she's done a lot of great ones. Even with Pain is a great one. But there's so many. What? Killers of the Game. Killers of the Game is a great video with
Yeah.
and I just said, no, you know what? We did a lyric video with Raising Hell on the
Right on.
substance as well. And I just, I want her to keep it simple and do the least amount of work and still get the message across, still have some kind of video. So that's what we're going to, that's it on that
Right
one.
on. Dale, you mentioned earlier you're working on one final song of your new songs that's going to go on the album. I wasn't sure if you gave us the name of that or if you're willing to.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Yep.
And just again, the new album release, when would we be looking forward to that? Do we know?
I'd say right around the time of the documentary.
So in the next month or two.
Easy.
Right on.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing that, and folks will be looking forward to seeing that as well. Is there for the new album, does the album have a name? And is there a theme that you're pushing on the album, or
We've been throwing it around, but at this time we haven't actually put the stamp on anything. I've been throwing
okay?
around, Evil and Good. I've been throwing around Crimes of Insanity. I don't know if it's even going to be something after one of the names of the songs. I'm not sure if Good Times. I don't know. Right now, we've been throwing that around. So at this time, we don't really have a name.
No problem. It'll be a surprise, something for us to look forward to and talk about afterwards. Look, the last time we talked, you said you were enjoying doing lead vocals, uh, an incredible amount. You said, "I love it. I'm enjoying it like I've never enjoyed it before." Is that still true? And is that going to be you'll be front and center on the new record?
Absolutely. And yes, I love it. I wouldn't ever change or go back. I just think it's so much fun. And I don't have to worry about putting up with, lead singers and they kind of and too many people in the band. We have three people, and Bill's a nice guy, Bill Watman, our bass
Yeah.
player, and Danny doesn't say much. He's just kind of keeps to himself. And Bill's he's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. He's willing to help. And it's like there's not a lot of clashing personalities. There's no arguing when we're working on stuff. I got something and I bring it down there. We put it together and it's done. And I'm really happy with my voice. I think it's turning out to where I can do it. I've got highs I didn't know I had. I started off with Running Like an Outlaw, and that was it. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to go back in because I've got that Running Like an Outlaw,
Yeah.
so I've got this high that I didn't know I had back then, and that was a year ago. So, you know, and I've got the middle, like in pain. My pain is strong. Time won't believe the pain. You know, so I've got a variation, and it's really cool. Like even when good, I've got that high going on, and
Yeah.
I'm just liking it. And if it's good enough for them to accept it, I'm I'm good with it. You know, it's like I don't claim to be a great singer, as long as I can get by, like Lemmy or Ozzy or anybody, um, that is okay. I mean, you know, Jimi Hendrix wasn't no great singer, but it was Jimi Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm Jimi Hendrix. I'm just saying he didn't have the greatest voice either. And I don't think I do, but I've been surprising myself lately. Let me say that. I mean, Crimes of Insanity. I mean, in the early morning hours, you can hear the screams. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff. I mean, I wrote those in the studio. Most of my lyrics, I bring them in, and I have them all down. But then I go from there, and there's not. They end up being nothing like what I walked in with, because that's my time to really get creative.
Yeah.
That's my time to express. You know, that's my time to just go. You know, and I do the same with my solos. I mean, I'm not one to sit there and practice a riff for a month and get it all this technical shit perfect, you know, and just have this thing. I just have them play it back, and I hit play, and I just play along with it. And like in Hollywood, it was the first take. There's many songs that we've done. It's been the very first take. Some it was a little bit more, and then crime, maybe two, three, you know, and then by the third time I've got it. But it's the feeling, hearing it back with the rhythm guitar and everything, and these speakers, this vision of music that you have, and then you just have this time to just jam along with it, and that's all I do is I jam along with what I just did, and it's like it's just it's that spirit of moment, emotional, um, you know, connection that is there, and you can't get that by going like this for 3 weeks before you go into the studio. I mean, yeah, I could do that, but I don't want to do that. It's not me. And except for Crimes of Insanity, 13 takes. And then I told the guy, use your own things. Like when I'm continuing to sing, use your own thing. Kind of like use whichever. I just kept laying down tracks after track. And so he sent me all 13 takes. And he actually picked out the exact ones that I picked out, the good
Yeah.
points, and put them together. But that's the first time I've ever done that. I've never done 13. The most I think I've ever done is like three or four
Wow.
top. Yeah, I just
Dale, you know, part of the attraction, allure of Dale George Lytle right now, it's incredible how much you love what you're doing. And I think that really comes through on, are you giving us Snapple? Are you giving us Dale, Dale's doing if Snapple's watching, Dale George Lytle just endorsed you, Snapple. So send him some Snapple, man. Send him some Snapple. We're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna send it to them, Dale. I'm gonna send it to them. And for folks watching, let Snapple know that Dale's endorsing them. But seriously, man, you really love what you're doing, and it really shows in your songs. It shows in your new music. It shows in the way you play. You know, I know you and I offline sometimes. You talk about your Hey, I'm going to rehearsal. I'm going to do rehearsal. The amount of time you spend doing that, and how you just love it really comes out. And I know, like I asked you, like, are you enjoying doing this? And I know you're enjoying doing it. I see you, and it just comes out in the music and the song. So thank you. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the fans that appreciate what you're doing, that we really appreciate how you're doing it too, Dale.
well, I
Um,
thank everybody for listening, and I hope they you know, my whole thing is if I can make other people happy by what I'm putting out, that's the only thing that matters to me. That's what I was put on this planet to do, and I love it. I breathe it. I live it. There's nothing else in my life. There's nothing. I mean, that matters, and it takes up and consumes all of my time. And I just, it makes me feel good when I know other people are listening. And we just got that new report that Goodbye was listened to or watched 1,414 hours last year. On my way. On my way. What did I say? Goodbye. Oh no, on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The chorus is Goodbye. But it used to be called Goodbye. That was a remake from one of our earlier songs on with me and Dave Rodman used to do that. And I kind of sped it up. I sped it up, all that, and then it was on No Limits as well with Brian the Buff as vocals. And it was like slow and I sent her a letter, she waits by the phone instead of I sent her a letter, she waits
Yeah.
by the phone.
Brought
And
it
it's
up.
like, I just wanted it to be, I wanted to change the name because I wanted it to be a positive message on my way. And Goodbye is not a positive thing,
Yeah.
and then the upbeat. But yeah, 1,414 hours watched this year on YouTube. And it's a 3-minute song, 3 minutes and
Yeah.
58.
You know what, Dale? That's actually an incredible thing, and here's why. Because when you look at how much time we have to consume information or content, and when you look at the amount of content that's out there, in especially music, more than ever in the history of the music industry, given that we've the social media and all the different platforms and Spotify and Apple and all that, that's an incredible amount of hours spent. It's almost 2 months of the year that was consumed by people, watching that. So it really is like, and I'm trying to put context into folks who say, 1,100 hours or 1,200 hours of watching just that one. If you think about it, just that one video of Angela's, never mind
Yes,
all the rest of your stuff, right? So you've got
yes,
people who are going there and consuming that with
yeah.
intent, Dale. Yeah.
It's totally so humbling, such an honor, and I'm just so blessed to have that kind of reaction. And again, that makes me happy because I'm making other people happy. I'm giving other people. If my mission I hope that other people love what I put out and give them. And if I, you know, that if I do that, then I'm doing my job. And that's all it's about is trying to
Yeah.
put stuff out that other people is going to make other people happy, and that's the soul.
Dale, what an incredible way that we're kicking off 2024.
Oh,
I'm excited for the anniversary tour, the documentary, the new album, everything you've got on the go. Listen, you're an inspiration to new and old fans and fellow rockers. For doing what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I know we got to let you go. I do. As we bring in the new year, is there anything else that you want to leave us with?
We also have a show February 2nd in Michigan at the Blind Pig. That's a Friday night, and then we'll be at I don't really know how to say the name, but it's in Salem, Ohio, for Nangles or something like that. And it's a nice little place. And come on down. That's February 10th, Saturday night, and we'll be rocking Ohio again. And Bill Wyman put that on, and I really, that's what I'm talking about. You don't get too many bass players or singers that actually go on and do something on their own without us doing it. It's always been Connie and I. And years ago, it was just everybody. It was, we played 2 backyard parties at night sometimes. That's the 80s and the rainbow and all that. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, Bill took his own initiative to put this together. And Bill Wildman, and he lives in Salem. So it's really cool. It's our second time back there. And I'm
Right
really
on.
looking well. And then we're waiting for a show to come in Tennessee by this particular girl. I don't know if I should say her name or not, but she's working on it. So we should have a show in Nashville coming up.
Cool. And
No,
are we gonna see? Are you gonna put the dates up on the website?
oh yeah, they'll all be
Yeah.
up on the website and they'll be on Facebook. You
Beauty.
know, we don't really use Angela's band that much. We try to, but it's just I don't know. I find myself just going to my page a lot.
Yeah.
And
That's where you seem to interact with your fans. I know the website's there as a nice add-on or whatever, but like I said earlier, you seem to interact with your fans on Facebook and your other social media. And they're fortunate. They're fortunate that we are fortunate that you do that and give us such access to you in that way.
Well,
Dale. Yeah, go ahead.
I care about them. They're good friends, and a lot of them are good friends, and a lot of them, you know, Beck Carter, I've had forever, and some of those friends I've had for many years. Stacy Weiss just found me on. She was my girlfriend. Well, she tried to be my girl. She was like 14 years old, way back in the day, and she'd follow me around. And she's older, obviously. Yeah, it was back in 40 years ago, and she's going around a lot. She's having a lot of hard times right now with cancer and chemo and all that. But she found me, and it's just, she actually found my mom's address in Ohio, where my mom and my whole family, the Filberts, lived in 1920 to 1940, something like that. So that was really cool. So I'm going to be going there in the next couple of days.
That is Dale George Lytle of Angeles. And by golly, get it right. They're No Angels as they celebrate their 40th anniversary of their iconic 1984 album, We're No Angels. Get ready to go on tour, work on a documentary, and give us a new album. It's an epic mix of evil and good, the kind you got to hear for yourself. And you can do that with all of the special treats that Dale has planned along with Connie. I'll have the Angela's social media info in the show notes. Please come on over to thepathradio.com and have a listen to Angela's. And remember to subscribe to Dale's YouTube channel and to the YouTube Path Radio Spotlight for more great content like this. Thank you, Dale. Rock on. Connie, thank you, and rock on. Happy New Year to both of you, and looking forward to seeing you on the road, Dale.
Thank you, and hope to see you. Hope to
Right
see
on.
you. Hope
Take
to see
care,
you.
Dale.
Okay, thank you for having me. Everybody have a great New Year's. All right. Rock on.